I think I had a preconceived notion that scientists were by the book and always did the same thing, and it was a very rigid endeavor. But realizing how creative science can be really inspired me to want to pursue it. My name is Michelle Muth. I'm a Postdoctoral Fellow at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. I'm an igneous petrologist and geochemist, which means I use the chemistry of volcanic rocks to understand how magmas form. I have always been interested in nature, but I never really thought of myself as much of a science person until I had an opportunity to take an earth science class in high school. That was absolutely incredible. And I kind of knew that I really loved this topic, but I wasn't sure what kind of career I could have with it. So I took an undergraduate class in geology and kind of fell in love and started taking more classes. And one day someone told me that there was a professor on campus who melted rocks in a lab and made new rocks using all this fancy equipment. And I almost fell out of my chair. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And that's when I decided to try to work in that lab, and that kind of led me on this journey to get more into research and geochemistry. A lot of what I do is use volcanic glass to make measurements and understand more about magmas at depth. And one of the most valuable tools that I use are melt inclusions. So these are tiny little parcels of magma that get trapped in a crystal at depth. And when they erupt, they quench, and they're kind of these fossilized magmas that we can use. But the catch is that they're extremely small. They're about the width of a human hair. And so a lot of my day-to-day work is finding these melt inclusions in volcanic products, picking them out, polishing them, and then finding ways to analyze them. So all of these very specialized analytical techniques. So what I do is really a mix between field work. Maybe a couple weeks every year I'll be out in the field, hiking around volcanoes, looking for good stuff, lab work, and then some modeling and computer work. So it's kind of a mix of all of those three things. My research is incredibly important. It's really trying to figure out how volcanoes form, when they erupt, what makes them erupt. And that's important for kind of the long-term evolution of our planet, but it also helps us predict when the next eruptions will happen. This kind of workshop is a really exciting opportunity for me because I can place the work that I do in a larger context. So when I come to workshops like this, I can find people who do geophysics, geochemistry, geodynamics, so modeling things, and I can figure out where my research fits into the broader puzzle and how I can contribute to a broader effort. That's useful to getting things done and moving forward, and it's also incredibly exciting to kind of plug into this larger network. One thing that I really appreciate about GeoPRISMS is that in addition to kind of the scientific merging of ideas that it represents, it's also an incredible opportunity for early career scientists, people like me who are just getting started in this field, to connect with other people at the same career stage as me, but also get to know people who are more senior and hear their perspective. One of the best things that you can do for yourself when you're starting out, and if you feel somehow isolated or underrepresented, is to develop your own sense of what it means to be a researcher and a scientist, and your own set of values and priorities around that. And that way, when you enter into a space like this, you already have that sense of security. And also, I think I would let them know that, of course, they have every right to feel what they feel and to be hesitant, but that this community is extremely welcoming and warm, and that they'll very likely have a great experience. I guess when I look back and think about my career and what got me here, I'm so appreciative for all of the fantastic mentors, including ones I found through this community. But I'm also just so happy and grateful that I was able to continue pursuing what I love to do and find the resources I needed to continue going and get myself to a position where I could do science full time and kind of immerse myself in science. Something that I really hope continues to happen going forward is large structures like GeoPRISMS, because not only do they help move science forward, but they really help integrate new voices into the scientific community. And so as I leave this workshop and kind of continue my day-to-day life, I really hope that these kinds of structures and initiatives continue to form and help support younger scientists.
All right, well then let's thank Michelle one more time.